This is how I spent 3 days in Napa visiting my best friend who lives there seasonally. Friday morning, we took a little stroll around downtown Napa and grabbed coffee at Barnhouse. Then we headed back to the house to get ready for our first wine tasting at 12:30. But first, had a little bestie brunch that consisted of caviar, bacon, pastries, and champagne. This is how every breakfast should be. Our first tasting of the day was at Peju, and I think it was honestly one of my favorite wineries I've ever been to in Napa, and I've been to quite a few. This day was absolutely beautiful, and our wine guide was amazing. All of the wines we tasted were also so good. I especially loved their Brut Rosé, so it obviously had to come home with me. Afterwards, we had to go frolic in the vineyard and take photos, and then we were off to our second wine tasting of the day at Farniente. I quite literally felt like I was stepping into a fairy tale at Farniente. The estate is absolutely beautiful. We booked the group tour and tasting that accommodates up to 8 people. It was a little more expensive than the other tastings I've done, but worth it. We started by doing a little cave tour and learning about the winemaking process, and then we headed upstairs for our tasting. All of their wines were really good, and we also got a little cheese pairing. Afterwards, we spent some time walking around what felt like an enchanting fairy garden, and then Jenny had a solo dance party. And then it was time for dinner, so we walked to downtown Napa to Los Agaves for some Mexican food and called it a night early so we could be refreshed for another day of wine tasting. The next day we had our first wine tasting at 11 a.m. at Stag's Leap, so we quite literally had wine for breakfast, and I'm not mad about it. The view from the estate was beautiful, which you wouldn't know because I forgot to take a video, and our wine guide was amazing. He was super knowledgeable and told us a lot of history about the winery, which includes monkeys and mummies. That's all I'm gonna say. Of course, we had to frolic in the vineyard before leaving, and then we were off to our food and wine pairing at Sequoia Grove. I've been to Sequoia Grove before and really enjoyed it, but I've never done their food and wine pairing, so I was really excited. This experience was a 10 out of 10. We started with a little octopus appetizer, followed by an education plate, which was really fun. Then we had fresh tuna, sea bass, ribeye, and ended with gelato. Everything was incredible. And then we had a pit stop at the Saint in St. Helena for a cocktail and ended the night with burgers from Gott's. Sunday, we honestly just spent the day popping around downtown Napa. We started with brunch at Celadon, which was really cute. We had mimosas and burrata and chicken and waffles, the ultimate girl brunch. It was delightful. And then we grabbed Frosé from Quilt and kind of just hopped around to some stores. We also saw a man walking a cow downtown, which was interesting. Our last stop of the day before I had to head to the airport was Wine Girl, which is quite literally an Instagram lover's dream come true. Save this post for your next trip to Napa. Bye!